Okay, finally. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's get back to the harvester. Again, we're running against Cisco.com, our domain, searching all possible data sources, running a reverse DNS query, and 500 results. And hopefully this will work. Do you guys have any questions so far up to this point? And again, as I said before, it helps if you register an API or get an API key from some of the providers like LinkedIn. Do you know what an API key is used for? Does anyone have an idea? Yeah. Some sites like LinkedIn or Google or Facebook even, they offer API keys that let you connect your applications directly to their servers for direct searching. So instead of using Google or other search engines, you're actually searching their databases directly, and you get loads of results. And in just a minute or two, I'll show you a different tool that connects directly to Shodan and exports or imports the information directly into a database for us, which is quite cool. Sorry, this is taking a little bit of time. Slow internet. Okay, well, this is running in the background. We'll talk about DNS Recon. It's another tool that's available in Kali that gives us the ability to enumerate DNS hosts. It's very simple, very easy to use, and very powerful. It's something that we very often use on internal pen tests and also in pen tests of external systems, basically to gather interesting information about hosts. So let's go ahead and fire this up. It should be a bit faster than the harvester. Okay, so that's still running. Let's go open another tab. Okay, this is DNS Recon. And we'll just start with -D for domain, cisco.com. And let me increase this a bit also. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll just jump back to the harvester for a minute. So as you can see, it's finished searching all of its search engines, and it's found some emails for us. All from public sources. We've never interacted with the host. This is totally passive. The harvester has done all the work for us. And we've got a handful of interesting email addresses that we can do some further research on, or potentially use as part of our attack plan. The harvester has also found a bunch of hosts for us, which is cool. DNS Recon does the same thing, but it's useful to compare what the different tools return back to you. So you can see here, we've got quite a few different hosts. And now it's actually doing a reverse lookup on all of the hosts it's identified. And this is going to take a little bit of time, so we'll switch back to DNS Recon, and let this one run. Okay, so this is going to give us a report on all of the DNS records, like MX records for mail server, NS records for name servers, A records for individual hosts. And it's also giving us some very interesting IPs that we can use to probe further. So this was a really simple probe. Now we've got an idea of their public DNS structure. DNS Recon is much more powerful, and you can do things like initiate a zone transfer on a misconfigured public DNS server. We're not going to do that because it's illegal, but if you're doing an authorized pen test and you're probing DNS servers, that's something you would absolutely try to do. Sometimes organizations, enterprises, or large companies, or others have public DNS and private DNS, and sometimes they're linked. Not very often, but from time to time they're misconfigured, and you can actually transfer the internal DNS zone to yourself. When you have that, you've basically got a snapshot of the entire infrastructure. So not a good thing. So here we can see Cisco's DNS servers. We can see their mail servers. That's cool. We've got some interesting host names here. Okay, serve records. So that's cool. But let's take it a little bit further. So what we want to do is we've identified an interesting IP. We know that Cisco owns it, right? What we're going to do is try and run a reverse query against an entire range that most likely belongs to Cisco. And what that should do is return us all of the host names within that net block, which gives us loads of different targets to start attacking. Okay. So again, we're going to pick, I think we're going to pick this one. Did I choose that? Let's see. Yeah. And we said 72.163.5.254. So we'll search that entire Class C range, and it's going to return to us all of the individual host names that it finds. It's really fast and really powerful. And so any IP within this range that has a host name attached to it is going to be returned to us. And so we've got a list of really interesting servers now to probe, to start attacking, to start digging deeper into. Now this is a different type of reconnaissance than what we've been doing before. The harvester is grabbing information from public sources. We are now in active reconnaissance mode. This is as deep as we're going to go today because we're not authorized to go any deeper on Cisco's domain. But the reason we're doing this one and it's still considered to be ethical is because it's just DNS requests. There's nothing illegal about it. We're just probing DNS. Even to Cisco, this kind of traffic is going to look a little bit normal. If we took it one step further and tried to transfer the zone, then we would be crossing the legal line, an ethical line, and we can't do that. But just probing DNS servers, saying, hey, what's the host name of this IP? That's legal, it's okay. But this is giving us a very clear snapshot of Cisco's infrastructure. It's just a very small part of it, but we've got loads of different host names. So quite interesting, right? 90 different results, 90 different potential targets now. Okay. Any questions on DNS Recon? No? Okay, the next tool we're going to look at is Recon-NG. This is, I think, my favorite Recon tool, or one of my favorites in Kali. It's a framework that you can use to query so many different open source intelligence repositories. It's really simple to use, very much like Metasploit. You can use it to enumerate targets, to grab information from Google, from LinkedIn, from Twitter, and also to test for vulnerabilities. We can't do the third one today because we're not authorized, but you can still use this tool for that. Okay, as I mentioned before, an API key is something that will greatly increase your success when you're using these tools. We have API keys configured for a website called Built With, which basically gives us information about what the site is hosting. We have API keys for Facebook. Recon-NG, as of just recently, is not supporting Facebook API anymore, so that's not good. But in the past, it was extremely useful. You could actually tie people's personal profiles to their work, and like the amount of information that you could find was just incredible and useful as an attacker. Pwned List is another good one. They charge, but they also offer free to organizations sometimes. Pwned List basically has a database of billions of compromised passwords. So if your username, if your Hotmail account, if your Gmail account was ever caught in a hack, they probably have a snapshot of that, and they can tell you if you're on that list. So during recon, it's very useful to know if members of a certain company have been compromised. We've got an API for Shodan, so we're going to use Reconn-ng to interact with Shodan and grab some information for us. Okay, so first what we're going to do is use Reconn-ng to scan whois databases, and this will give us a load of email addresses and contact details for Cisco IT people. So let me show you how Reconn-ng works. So again, it's a framework. It's an entire toolkit, and it's managed by Black Hills InfoSec and included by default in Kali. So it's very much like Metasploit. It's got commands like use, commands like show. You can just tab through also, and it will tell you kind of what the next command is. It's very simple, very intuitive. Show dashboard, you can show NetBlocks vulnerabilities. These are all things basically that you captured during a specific scan or during a reconnaissance. So it also gives you something called workspaces. And workspaces are basically individual databases for each target, for example. So if you're on a pen test, you're targeting Cisco, you would create a new workspace just for Cisco, and all of your results would be stored here. And after you finish, you can go back to this workspace and retrace the steps, look at all the data that you collected during the recon. So why don't we add one now, and we'll call it Defense Saturday. Okay. And then we just do workspace, select, Defense Saturday. Yeah, and so now we're in Defense Saturday workspace. To go back, you just type back. That will take you back to your root. It's very simple. So now we want to see what modules are available for us in Reconn-ng. So you just type use in tab, and that will give you a list of all modules. So you can see there are quite a few. As I said before, it's primarily used for recon, but you can also use it for vulnerability assessment, even some basic exploitation stuff, and definitely use it for reporting. We're not going to do that because we can't, but we will do some reconnaissance with this. So these are all the different third-party databases or providers that you can use for recon. As you can see, LinkedIn, which is fantastic. It's a great source of information on companies and potential targets. You've got Facebook, you have PwnedList, just loads and loads. Really, really quite interesting. You can brute force DNS hosts, which we'll potentially try. Built with is quite cool. It tells you what specific sites are built with. Shodan hostname, we'll try that one in a bit. It's really neat. Okay, so let's, as I said before, use it to grab a bunch of Cisco's IT contacts from the public whois databases. So we would do use recon domains context, whois POCS. We're going to use recon domains context, whois POCS. And just like in Metasploit, you also have to set your target. And it just takes a second here. Okay. So we can show options also. I had already set the source before at cisco.com, so it knows. And it's in there. You can do set source and change it to anything you want, like psychodemy.com or whatever. Small sites aren't going to give you a lot of information because they don't have that many whois contacts. Cisco is going to give us a lot of information. So it's very simple, very easy to use. Let's run the command. And you can see it's going to query all of the various whois databases and return that information to us. Okay, looks like our connection dropped again.
Yeah.